Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be recapping today's NBA games from November 3rd, 2025, Monday. All right, let's get into it. Before I get into the games, I think there's a word of the day. Today, I think the word of the day today is it's revenge. And let's start in Indiana. The Bucks beat the Pacers 117-115, and this is the start of what we saw with revenge today. Giannis Antetokounmpo with 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. After the Pacers eliminated the Bucks in the first round of the playoffs last year, Giannis left this Pacers court in Game 5. Not a good place, losing in the first round, and especially then Tyrese Halliburton's father shows up and gets in his face. That was not a great moment for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The next time he leaves the court, it's with a game winner, mid-range shot at the buzzer, 33 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Good night from just other players. Like, there wasn't a standout performance outside of Giannis tonight. It was just other guys stepping up with a number of 5 other players for the Bucks in double figures outside of Giannis. Gary Trent Jr. with 11 points, 13 points for AJ Green, 10 for Ryan Rollins with 7 assists, 11 points for Cole Anthony, and 15 points for Kyle Kuzma. For the Pacers, they had 32 points from Siakam with 8 assists and 21 points from Isaiah Jackson with 10 rebounds. All right, moving on to Brooklyn. This was the Peacock game today in the NBA. No Anthony Edwards still. Timberwolves beat the Nets 125-109. Rudy Gobert with a double-double, 15 and 12. Julius Randle with his first triple-double as a Timberwolf, 19, 11, and 10. DiVincenzo with 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. He will be playing his former team in his next game. Same thing for Randall with the Knicks. That's their next matchup in New York. McDaniels, 29 minutes. He had 22 points, shot 9 for 11, 2 for 3 from 3. Great efficiency for McDaniels. 9 points and 7 assists for Mike Conley. 21 points off the bench for Naz Reid. Nets get 25 points out of Cam Thomas. No MPJ tonight, though. 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists from Nick Claxton, and then at 0-7. Celtics get a third win of the season, 3-4 in the year now for the Jazz. Celtics lose their second straight. The Celtics, their first 8 games, it's gone, in a series of wins and losses. Lost their first 3 straight, then won 3 straight, and now they've lost 2 straight. 31 points tonight for Keontae George. He was great. 20 points from Lauri Markkanen. 11 points and 11 rebounds. I'm calling it right now. 11 points and 11 rebounds from Jusuf Nurkic. I'm calling it right now. Jusuf Nurkic, I think, there's definitely a possibility that down the road he could be a trade target for the Boston Celtics if they looked at potentially bringing in a center. 13 points and 8 rebounds from Kyle Filipowski tonight. And 7 points for Walter Clayton Jr. with 6 assists. The Jazz beat the Celtics tonight, and they didn't even have Walker Kessler, one of their best players. Jaylen Brown had 36, and Derek White continues to shoot terrible. 3 for 9, 10 points, 6 assists, 18 for Pritchard tonight. Celtics lose at home to one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. Knicks beat the Wizards 119-102. They get their second win in a row. Bronson does have a quiet night with 16 points and 9 assists, but Karl-Anthony Towns got it done for this team tonight, 33, 13, and 5. Josh Hart, 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. 15 for Jordan Clarkson. For the Wizards tonight, Alex Sarr had a great game with 19 and 8 with 7 assists. Bayal Coulibaly had 15 points, and Keontae George had 15. Also 15 for Corey Kispert off the bench, but the Wizards still lose. And then Pistons beat the Grizzlies. Grizzlies lose their third in a row. Grizzlies have the second largest losing streak in the Western Conference. Cade Cunningham, 33 points and 8 assists. Jalen Duren, 14 points and 9 rebounds. Isaiah Stewart, 26 and 14. 14 off the bench for Ron Holland. And the Grizzlies, they got 18 points and 10 assists for John Morant. 5 for 16 from the floor, though. And there's just continue to be talk about John Morant's future in Memphis, though. 21 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. in this one. Detroit gets the win on the road. Mavericks get a good win in Houston. First close win of the season for the Rockets. Before this, the Rockets, all their wins this year have been blowout wins, but this is the 4th win in a row for the Rockets, and now 4-2 after the 0-2 start. Kevin Durant had an off shooting night tonight. Still had 21 points. It was 6 for 18 from the floor. But they got great performances from Şengün and Amin Thompson. 26 from Şengün with 6 and 11 rebounds and 6 assists. 27 from Amin Thompson. No Jabari Smith Jr. tonight for the Rockets. And Tari Eason was great, 15 points. Rockets get a good W. They played some great defense tonight. Cooper Flagg didn't have a great game. First game ever against the Rockets. And P.J. Washington was really good. He was near a 30-piece with 29 points, but Rockets get a good win tonight. Then Nuggets, Kings, as I've, talked about revenge, this was, the Kings didn't get a win, but Russell Westbrook, he went out there and he just killed it tonight. He had 26 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. I know the Nuggets won tonight. They won 130-124. Jokic had 34 points, 7 rebounds, 14 assists. He was killer tonight. 20 points for Aaron Gordon. Just an all-around great performance for the Nuggets as a team tonight. But Russell Westbrook went into Denver tonight and had a great game. Sabonis had 13 and 17. DeRozan had 19. LaVine had 15. His first bad game of the season this year. Shooter had 18 points and 9 assists. But that's one of many instances tonight from a player that played for a team last season returning to their former home and playing well. And we got a couple more to go over just right here. Lakers, with the biggest stunner of the day, beat the Timberwolves 123-115. Rui Hachimura has 28 points for the Lakers tonight. But more importantly, DeAndre Ayton with 29 points and 10 rebounds, going back to his former home that he spent a couple seasons with the Blazers. They had a great performance off the bench, though, from Nick Smith Jr., 25 points, 6 assists from him. Just a great game. Bronny James had 5 points, 6 assists. He did a good job of facilitating. Lakers without Reeves and LeBron and Luka going into Portland, a team that's 4-1 in the last 5 and 4-1 since this whole scandal with Chauncey Billups. Just a team that has looked like one of the best. They're one of the hottest teams in basketball, and LA just went in there without their 3 best players and won. I think the craziest thing as well is if I would have told you the Lakers go into Portland, right, and they beat Portland without their 3 best players, you would think, of course Rui Hachimura he's gonna put a footprint on it, and maybe DeAndre Ayton does, but you would also think, Dalton Kennett and Jake LaRivia are just going to have great games as well. And Jake LaRivia and Dalton Kennett weren't terrible in this game, but they only combined for 19 points. LaRivia had 11, 5 and 6, was 5 for 10 from the floor. Dalton Kennett only played 23 minutes, had 8 points, 4 rebounds. They weren't terrible, but I think if I would have said if you had those guys weren't playing for the Lakers, those 3 guys and LeBron, Luka, and AD. And you're going to beat the Blazers who are 4-1 in their last 5. Of course, Rui's going to make an impact, and Aiden would too. But I sure as hell would have predicted that LaRivia and Kennett would have made a bigger impact tonight. But thanks to Nick Smith Jr. and DeAndre Ayton stepping up more than they needed, I think that the Lakers got a big win tonight. Blazers, Denny Avdia had 33 points, 23 for Sharp. And just a tough loss for the Blazers tonight. Miami Heat beat the Clippers 120-119. This is what continuing the revenge talk. You got Norman Powell returning to LA, 21 points, 6 for 10 from the floor, 2 assists, 2 for 3 from 3, 7 for 7 at the free throw line, 1 steal. Great game for him. Bam Adebayo had 25 and 10. This game came right down to the end. Kawhi Leonard had an opportunity for a game-winning shot and couldn't make it. Him and Harden combined for 56. Harden had 29, 7, and 8, and Kawhi had 27. Zubac only had 9 points tonight, but he had 18 rebounds. Bradley Beal, back in action, had 12 points. John Collins, 12 points as well. Clippers will be on the second night of back-to-back against the 7-0 Thunder. But the only good thing I can say about that is that they don't have to. It's not like they have to go to OKC. They stay right at home in Los Angeles, and we'll play the Thunder tomorrow, and that will be on NBC. You guys give me your thoughts on today's NBA games in the comment section, and peace out.